Here for Rollison Performance Group Rotax Senior Max. Ryan Norberg, Arthur Least make up your front row. Austin Garrison was quickest in morning warm-up. He joins his J3 competition comp car teammate Dante Yu alongside in row number 2. Max Hewitt, Trenton Estep make up row number 3. Jordan Brown-Nutley, Lane Vacala, row 4. Dan Roper, and he will start alongside, I believe, either Samuel Lupin and Nicholas Carbon as the driver slotted to start in 10th. Matias Ramirez has gone to the rear of the field for an engine change. Also starting from the rear of the field, subbing in for Darren Keene in the Orsolone Racing Tony Kart, Fabio Orsolone. Getting back behind the wheel of a Senior Max machine, he and Matias Ramirez make up the final row of the grid, behind Action Jackson and Augustin Martinez. Stepping over the keel, Brendan Baker will line up behind Nicholas Carbon and Samuel Lupien. We'll see how they all stack up, but again, your front four all confirmed. Norberg, Least, Garrison, and you, the first 2 rows in Senior Max. We go into the tram lanes. It's time to go racing. Rollison Performance Group Rotax Senior Max is underway to turn number 1. Ryan Norberg, Austin Garrison go through to the lead. They'll go first and second. Arthur Least trying to hold on. He gets through into third. Dante Yu under heavy fire for the 4th spot right now into turn number 4. Norberg leads your field to 5. Ryan Norberg going to defend down the inside into the hairpin. Austin Garrison crosses him over side by side for the lead. Austin Garrison looking to the inside in turn 7. He'll go by Norberg. Arthur Least goes through. Austin Garrison, your new race leader. Arthur Least to second. Ryan Norberg down to 3rd. Dante Yu with a good start in 4th. Trenton Estep runs 5th. Max Hewitt 6th. One long train as they head for turn 12. Austin Garrison at the helm in the comp cart. For Ryan Norberg, it's deja vu. He runs right behind Arthur Least through turn number 1 and sits in 3rd. Battle for 5th. Over the bumper of the Brazilian, headed for turn 4. Least lost a little ground. Norberg gonna dive down the inside. He'll take back the 2nd spot. Moves down to block. Dante Yu goes wide. Trenton Estep went to the inside of him, and now Yu getting a lot of shoving from behind as Jordan Brown-Nutley, Lane Vacala, and Dan Roper all go bumper to bumper. You actually going to get shoved even farther back now. He'll go right in front of Brendan Baker, who has climbed into the top 10, it appears, ahead of Stepanova Nikhil. Down the front stretch here for your race lead. Garrison shows the way. Norberg 2nd. Arthur Least in 3rd. And Ryan Norberg needs to get up to Garrison soon before they all start to even out. We've got one driver stalled off the racetrack entering turn number 4. He'll just come into your screen. We don't know who that is. We'll confirm in just a moment. Out of turn number 5, Norberg still has Arthur Least right on his tail. Trenton Estep and Max Hewitt run 4th and 5th. Dante Yu got shuffled back quite a few positions. He runs up in the 6th spot as he came across the line. It looked like he fought his way back forward, but now Dante Yu running ahead of Jordan Brown-Nutley, stepping over the keel. Lane Vacala has been shuffled behind Brendan Baker as well. And he's also got Calder McWhinney and Nicholas Carbon looking for a way by. Vonnie 47.83 for Austin Garrison, 47.90 for Ryan Norberg. So that gap beginning to lengthen from 1st to 2nd. And Austin Garrison working on the comp car chassis throughout the week. And once again, he finds himself on Sunday leading, this time a little bit earlier than the Rock weekend, as Garrison had a problem in heat number 3 that made him start 8th place for the pre-final. He started 3rd here, just where he started for last weekend's final. And now Austin Garrison leading the way here at the pre-final. He's led every completed lap. Norberg, on the other hand, trying to charge back up after being passed by his former Ocala Grand Prix teammate through turn 1. That time by Ryan Norberg, 1/10 of a second slower than Austin Garrison, or 1/10 of a second quicker as Norberg goes purple. Arthur Least nearly 2/10 slower than Norberg last time by. Trenton Estep as well. So it's just going to be the top three. Norberg starting to hit his stride. Austin Garrison, no mistakes right now in the comp card. But Ryan Norberg is coming. Arthur Least still on the bumper and in the draft. He will look to charge as well. So this three-card battle might recommence here for the lead. Rollison Performance Group Rotax Senior Max down the back straightaway. Out of the final turn. So these three cards coming together. It looks like Norberg chipped off a little more last time. Arthur Least as well, a 47.371 for Least. Nearly a 10.5 quicker than Austin Garrison. Trenton Estep last time by, losing
side
ground
by
to the
side
top
to the
three.
final
So
turn.
it's just
There
these
goes
three
Elio
drivers out in
Giovanni
front.
down to the
Then
inside.
It's Estep,
Barrichello
Hewitt,
going to go to the
Nutley,
inside on
McNeil,
Giovanni
and
in turn
Baker.
one.
The top
2
nine,
by
Baker
2 is
just ahead
Arsenal.
of Lane Vicala, who runs in the spot. Brendan Baker now going to lose that spot here into turn number 5 as Vicala goes back on by, and he's got Fabio Orsolon moving his way through the field. Fabio Orsolon now to the inside of Brendan Baker. He's worked his way in the past lap, up 3 positions, up now to position number 10. Fabio Orsolon started dead last. He's up into the top 10. Matias Ramirez. Unfortunately, right now, it seems like the engine change still having some problems as the number 341 Anderson Racing Team Burrell Art driver runs at the tail end of your grid. He's a couple seconds back from Action Jackson. He might have got hooked around or something in turn 1. Whatever the issue is, Ramirez not at the pace that he'd like to be right now as one of the most talented Rotax graduates into the Senior Max class. Matias Ramirez looks for his first full Senior Max championship bid here in the Florida Winter Tour. Down the backstretch, the gap, 1 car length from Austin Garrison to Ryan Norberg, and Norberg continues to close. We are just at the halfway point now. Norberg, a dive to the inside in turn 1, still side by side in turn number 2. Austin Garrison trying to hang on. He loses the spot in turn 3. Norberg back to the lead now in turn number 4. Going side by side cost Austin Garrison a lot of time. He now trails by a couple kart lengths from Norberg and will need to get back onto the horse to close the gap to the PSL karting driver. Arthur Least still sits in the catbird seat for any more contact between the two front runners. Least himself has yet to see a clear racetrack in front of him. The highest he's gotten this weekend is 2nd, and that's where he finished last weekend. Arthur Least looking for one more spot on the podium. 3 karts together here for the lead pack, and Norberg leads the way. Austin Garrison, Arthur Least, both still right there with Orlando, Florida's Ryan Norberg. Into turn number 4. Norberg still defending a little bit, and Garrison take full advantage. It's a kart and a half still from 1st to 2nd, the exact same gap back to 3rd as they head through turns 5 and 6. Battle for the 4th spot. Trenton Estep trying to fend off Max Hewitt. He'll bring Dante Yu through to P5. Hewitt down to 6. Jordan Brown Nutley and stepping over to Keel still runs 7th and 8th. Lane Vicala 9th. And Fabio Orsolon in 10th. Now he's up to 9th. He's actually gone by Vicala looking on the racetrack, but has a lot of ground to make up to go any higher. Fabio Orsolon subbing in for Darren Keene is doing a great job here in the pre-final. He's got so many laps turned at Homestead Karting, working with all of his Orsolon Racing drivers, past and present. And now here in the pre-final, after just going out for warm-up, going 3rd in morning warm-up, Fabio Orsolon has gone from 22nd on the grid up to 9th. Out of turn number 12, Ryan Norberg, Austin Garrison, Arthur Least still right together. 3. Trenton Estep, Dante Yu. The current top 5 as Max Hewitt has yet to make a move on his teammate here after getting shuffled back earlier on. The black flag being displayed for the number 368 entry. That is going to be Nicholas Blanchard aboard the Tony car, the Argentinian, getting the meatball flag that will pull him into the pit lane. Arthur Least has gotten by runs right behind Austin Garrison right now as they head through turn number 10. No changes inside the top three. They're all sort of gridlocked right now. A couple of car lengths between each other. This time by 4 laps to go for Ryan Norberg and Austin Garrison. A 2/10 gap separates the top two drivers as they continue to run identical lap times. Continuing battle for 5th. Justin Arsenault going back by Elio Giovanni. The gap's beginning to spread out here in the top three. Trenton Estep, on the other hand, he gets a little bit of contact from Dante Yu in turn number 8, and he's got Yu and Hewitt closing up to the back bumper of the NRM Motorsports Tony Kart in the battle for 4th. While this battle for the lead has somewhat simmered down for the moment, 3 laps to go this time by Norberg with not too much pressure as he pulls out another 1/10 of a second over Austin Garrison. A good battle to kick off the Rollison Performance Group Rotax Senior Max class, but it has been nothing since Ryan Norberg reclaimed the lead. They're still together in one pack as we watch the change potentially for the 5th spot. No, Dante Yu still holding back Max Hewitt. The J3 competition teammates trying to work together to train by Trenton Estep. Estep still having a solid run here in the Rotax Senior class as he leads that group by about 4 kart lengths through turn number 12. This time by 2 laps to go for now. Mars take a look back down the front straightaway. Spot. No pressure right now. No need to defend for the number 300. Something must have just happened to Austin Garrison. He is slowing to turn number 5. Arthur Least has gone by him in second. Garrison falling back in the 3rd spot. An issue for the comp car driver as Trenton Estep and his pack is still a good ways behind, but they might be able to catch him if he cannot solve the issue. Austin Garrison with a problem has promoted Brazil's Arthur Least to P2. He's going to pull down the backstretch. 1 lap to go. Can Garrison hold on to the 3rd spot, which would be a prime starting position for the final? Battle for 4th here. Dante Yu nearly making a move to the inside of Estep. And actually, Yu has gone through to P4. A good pass in turn number 1 for Dante Yu. Trenton Estep going to look to take it right back, but he is not even close to being able to do so in turn side. In fact, he's got Max Hewitt right behind him. Just a kart length back. 2 by 2 is Arsenault, Stepanova, and Akil not too far behind these 3 as well. Whatever the issue was for Austin Garrison, though, it seems to have subsided at least enough for him to finish. It surrendered 2nd place to Arthur Least, but did nothing for Ryan Norberg. He deserves the win, and he'll take it here in the pre-final. A hard-fought victory here for Norberg. So the checkered flag flying here in the Rollison Performance Group Rotax Senior Max pre-final. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll see if we can grab a few sound bites from the drivers on the grid. The Mazda Road to Indy Mini Max class is up next. So down here on
Kilo,
the grid, the
a four-car
Rotax
all-out battle. Now
Arsenault
Arsenault moves down to block.
He'll go side by side to the final
class
turn. Get set to hit the racetrack for their pre-final. Again, slightly slower shorter pre-finals for the Mini-Max and Micro-Max as they elected for a longer qualifying session, 12 minutes instead of the standard 8, and then just 12 laps here for the pre-final and 18-lap final later on today. Reese Gold and Dale Curran have been the top 2 drivers in Mini-Max. We've also seen some other drivers with a few hot and cold runs throughout the heat races. Santiago Trissini, Luca Mars, Elio Giovanni, all names looking to make a little more ground up here in the pre-final to catch Kuna USA's Dale Curran and Bennett Kart's Reese Gold. Gold has been unstoppable this week, and again, a national front runner for many years now in what could be one of his last years in the many categories. If he maybe has one more after this one, as he's been a competitor in it for a couple. Trissini down to 4th. We've also got our eyes here on this continuing battle for 5th. Justin Arsenault going back by Elio Giovanni, who is holding back Fernando Barrichello. A 4-car all-out battle. Now Arsenault moves down to block. He'll go side by side to the final turn. There goes Elio Giovanni down to the inside. Barrichello going to go to the inside on Giovanni in turn 1. 2 by 2 is Arsenault. Yesterday afternoon. He's got some work to do in the number 155. We'll see if he can make up the spots he needs to challenge Kuna USA's Dale Curran, who's going to start on the front row alongside fellow Canadian Justin Arsenault. Then it's a couple of Americans here on actually Gold correction on row number 2. He should start alongside Elio Giovanni. Fernando Barrichello, Luca Mars make up row number 3. Kiffin Simpson and Santiago Trissini make up row number 4. Simpson coming here all the way from Barbados. He's got a shout out from Mr. Maloney and Zane Maloney as well, watching along at home. And Santiago Trissini as well. Quite a bit of fans here for the number 123. The young driver has had a lot of adversity over the past few weeks here aboard Mini Rock and Mini Max engines, and he will be looking to make up some ground here in the pre-final as he rolls off 8th alongside Kiffin Simpson. So 2 by 2 down the backstretch. The Mini-Max field all together. Dale Curran, Justin Arsenault, the front row. Elio Giovanni, Reese Gold, row 2. 2 Bennett following a Burrell Hart and a Tony Kart as Curran leads your field to the green. He is on full gas down the front straightaway, and we will take it. Green flag to turn number 1. Dale Curran gets a great jump. Elio Giovanni goes through to second.
Turn 1.
Reese Gold fighting side by side right now farther back. It looks like he might have been able to slot into the 5th spot. Luca Mars moving actually into position number 5. Battle for 3rd here. Justin Arsenault going back and forth with Fernando Barrichello. Now Mars going to go to the inside of Barrichello in turn 5. Barrichello still side by side with Reese Gold. Gold going to have to back out, and he's also got Santiago Trissini looking for a way by. Gold now going to go down the inside of Trissini. It looks like possibly Barrichello as well. We'll confirm all the drivers farther back in that battle as your leader down the backstretch. Dale Curran, but Elio Giovanni is moving here. The Bennett driver closing the gap to the 131. They've already got a small advantage back to Arsenault in 3rd. a great shot from some of these ground cams we have here at Homestead Karting, courtesy of the Max Speed Entertainment live crew. One of those you just saw through turn number 1. Not a lot of the Mini-Max drivers clipping the curbing, whereas we see in the Senior Max, Junior Max, and DD2 classes, the drivers going full 4 tires in the air, clobbering some of the inside curbs here at Homestead Karting. Again, Curran and Giovanni, your top 2, with Arsenault and Mars 3rd and 4th. Reese Golds worked his way to position number 5 ahead of Santiago Tracini, and then 7th, Fernando Barrichello. 8th, Kiffin Simpson. 9th, Jesse Carrasquedo Jr. Justin Arsenault going back by Elio Giovanni, who is holding back. As we head for turn number 1, Luca Mars making his way up to the bumper of Justin Arsenault for turn number 1 and going on through as he went purple last time by. The Pilati-sponsored Energy North America driver making his way up to the top 2 as Curran now is beginning to pull away from Elio Giovanni. It's Mars still 3rd, Arsenault 4th, although he's got some pressure now from Reese Gold in the Benek 155. Gold, after not getting the best start, starting in the 4th spot, he has climbed back to position number 5. He'll be looking for position 4 here down the back straightaway as he's on the bumper right now of Justin Arsenault heading for turn 12. Reese Gold all the way up alongside, not to turn number 12. He'll still wait to turn number 1. Gold looking inside down the front straightaway. Reese Gold going to go through to position number 4. Justin Arsenault down to 5th as your race leader Dale Arsenault still moves down to pulling away from Elio Giovanni,
to the
but Luca Mars still quicker right now, at least than Giovanni, and about on pace with Dale Curran. Mars just trails back car length here in the battle for 2nd as they exit turn number 5, and he's got a solid advantage back to Reese Gold, who's also starting to charge through the field. Santiago Tracini trails Justin Arsenault in a 3-way battle, including Fernando Barrichello. Kiffin Simpson's fallen off the draft of that. He runs in the 8th spot. And 9th and 10th, again, Jesse Carrasquedo Jr. running in position number 9. And rounding out the top 10 at the moment, it is Chloe Chambers in the 133 Tony Kart. Luca Mars just going by Elio Giovanni there in turn number 1. He's now moved up to the 2nd spot. Dale Curran still leads, but Mars setting his sights on the Kuna USA driver as he set the fastest lap of the race once again. The Energy Cadet pilot moving his way forward here in the field. Reese Gold is moving as well, but what a drive thus far for Luca Mars. He started outside your top 5, is closing the gap now to the leader, Dale Curran, and we're still not at the halfway point just yet. 5 laps complete this time by for Dale Curran. He's got a gap back to Mars, but it is not really pulling away at all. In fact, Mars might have gained a little bit of time this lap by, even with the pass on Elio Giovanni. Just 200 slower, Luca Mars, than Dale Curran last time by. Not to take anything away from the Canadian cadet driver, as Dale Curran has been very fast all week long in the Tony Kart,
down to
but being only 200 quicker than a driver who made a pass and had to go offline to do it last time by, shows that you may or may not be the fastest driver on the racetrack. Mars still sits 2nd, and then Giovanni 3rd, with Reese Gold closing the gap in that battle for the bronze medal spot at the moment in the pre-final. Justin Arsenault still holding back Santiago Tracini and Fernando Barrichello, and that is your current top 7. Tracini pulling to the bumper here of Arsenault, but Arsenault runs it wide. They'll still go side by side for 5th to turn 12. Tracini unable to get the job done. Justin Arsenault holds the spot as Fernando Barrichello now looks to the inside of his Benek, and Barrichello will go through to position number 6. Last time by, Mars must have had something bobble there in the energy chassis as he lost a lot of ground to Dale Curran. Dale Curran pulling away as he gained nearly half a second on the energy driver. The Benek of Reese Gold pulling to the bumper of Elio Giovanni, and Giovanni closing the gap back up to Luca Mars. This time by, 5 laps remain here in the pre-final for the Mazda Road to Indy Minimax class. in turn 12. A pass made there for the 6th spot. Santiago Tracini going back to the inside of Fernando Barrichello. Their duel has given a little gap up to Justin Arsenault in the 5th place position. So got our eyes here on this continuing battle for the race last time by 51.31 by Elio Giovanni. It was only 300 quicker than Luca Mars' best lap overall, but Mars
out battle. Now Arsenault
moves down to Elio Giovanni and Reese Gold to the bumper now of the Energy 108.
Elio Giovanni down to the inside. Barrichello going to go to the inside on Giovanni in turn
a little bit earlier. He'll look to the inside in turn 9, and he gets the job done. Move Reese Gold to position number 3 with a great pass there on Benek teammate Elio Giovanni. Now, the blue, orange, and white chassis are going to try and work together to close back up to Luca Mars to take over the 2nd place spot, as it appears no one right now has the pace to challenge Dale Curran. Back down the inside in turn number 1, Giovanni going back by Reese Gold with a good pass you just saw there in your curb shot.
Down to block.
Through the
He'll go side by side to the final turn.
There
goes Elio Giovanni down to the inside.
To work with him.
Barrichello going to go to the inside
5.
on Giovanni in turn 1. 2 by 2 is Arsenault.
Nine laps complete. 3 laps to go for Dale Curran as he looks to take his first pre-final victory here at the Florida Winter Tour. Chloe Chambers with something amiss there on the Tony Kart. She's pulled off the racetrack at the entry to turn number 6 off driver's left. And so a problem for that driver. Unfortunately, she will have to watch the end of this one here from the sidelines as the battle for 3rd right now still sits back in the balance of Reese Gold. He was able to work his way by Elio Giovanni once again, and now Gold with about a 2-kart length advantage back to 4th. Justin Arsenault, Santiago Tracini, Fernando Barrichello still sit in this 3-kart pack. That's the focus of your cameras as they head down the back straightaway. Dale Curran sees the double sticks go in the air. 2 laps to go as the Kuna USA Canadian driver has done a great job thus far in the pre-final, leading from the pole, and he's 2 seconds away from getting another victory here at the Florida Winter Tour. Dale Curran with a great drive this week, especially coming on strong with the racecraft to match the pace that's been there since day number 1 when they unloaded the Rotax Minimax machine from the Kuna USA trailer. We need the driver of the number 309 to the steward's office. The number 309, 309 driver of the number 309 to the steward's office, please. Santiago Tracini going all across the racetrack. Now he'll try to go to the inside of Justin Arsenault. Arsenault defends to turn number 1. Tracini with a great crossover. He'll take the spot almost in turn 2. Now he'll complete it in turn 3. Behind him, Fernando Barrichello also looking for a way by Arsenault. In turn number 4, Arsenault defends, and now he's got Barrichello right on the back bumper, giving a gap here to Santiago Tracini in 5th. Arsenault holding to the spot, and the Art PSL karting driver still is in 6th. Out front, no challenge though for Dale Curran as he rounds the penultimate corner on the racetrack, turn number 11, and down the backstretch. 1 more session remains, and Dale Curran will be a national winner in the Florida Winter Tour. He takes the pre-final in Minimax.
2 by 2 is
Arsenault. A solid drive as well, and the Energy driver finishes 2nd. Reese Gold holds back Elio Giovanni, a hard-charging Giovanni to 3rd. Santiago Tracini finishes in 5th. Giovanni 4th. 6th to Justin Arsenault. 7th to Fernando Barrichello. 8th to Kiffin Simpson. 9th, Jesse Carrasquedo Jr. And 10th, Antonio Jose Para Carvajal. Unfortunately for Maximilian Opalski and Chloe Chambers, it will be a 11th and 12th place finish for both drivers. Opalski here having a spin earlier on in the comp cart, and Chambers with a mechanical DNF that has sidelined her with just a few laps remaining. So we're going to try and catch up here with your race winner in the Mazda Road to Indy Mini Max class. Dale Curran with a great drive, a near 2.5 second advantage over Luca Mars and Reese Gold. Next up, it'll be the Micro Max division presented by Duke Spine. 3 more pre-finals to go as we're halfway through this round of action in the Florida Winter Tour. Turn 1, 2 by 2 is Arsenal. Right. All right, so we're down here with your pre-final winner, Dale Curran. Dale, you had a great drive, nearly 2.5 seconds. No real pressure from behind. A pretty solid start to the day, I'd say. Walk us through that.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. I didn't know it was 2 seconds. That's pretty good. I'm happy.
Yeah, the cart's been rolling really good for you here this week aboard the Mojo Tires and Mini Max. Of course, you're looking to run for the full championship here with Kuna USA. Walk us through your plans here for this season, where we would like to see Dale Curran at the front of the field.
Well, the Florida Winter Tour, Rock and Rotax. We might do Scusa. Maybe,
Justin,
I don't know which class yet.
Plans here for this season, where we would like to see Dale Curran.
Mini, but I don't know yet.
Yeah, you're right at that age where this will probably be your last year of Mini Max racing, so it's good to go out on such a solid note, or at least start it on such a solid note here this weekend. But it's a team effort in go-kart racing, as you and I both know. Who would you like to thank for all the help here this week?
I would like to thank Kuna USA, Mike Marini, Andrew Burton, everyone under there, my parents, and anyone else who's helped me get to here.
All right, well, a great run here in the pre-final in Mini Max for Dale Curran. Dale, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to toss it back to the scale line here before going back on the racetrack with your Micro Max division presented by Duke Spine. 3 more pre-finals and then a lunch break before we come back with main event action here at the 2017 VCI, powered by AM Engines Florida Winter Tour, presented by Fixie Wheels Rotax Weekend. Here for the Duke Spine Micro Max pre-final. It's been James Agozi out front all weekend. Jeremy Fletcher joins him on the front row, but a big jump for the inside line, and the green flag is given. Alex Powell started third. He's gone through to second. M.O. Fittipaldi's gone through to third, battling for fourth as well. Jeremy Fletcher's fallen way down the order. He leads the second train as they're still battling into turn number 4. So a 3-kart breakaway off the first couple of turns, and it's James Agozi leading. Alex Powell runs in second. He'll try and cross over Agozi. He'll stay right behind, though not enough of a run for the Speed Concepts racing driver. Agozi looking to bring Team Kuna USA another Micro Max victory here at the Florida Winter Tour after Dale Curran has been waving the flag for the red and white squad in Mini Max. So Jeremy Fletcher battling for fourth. They're 2 by 2 down back for the 4th spot. Side by side, 3 wide as Miguel Costa throws it into turn number 12. Still 3 wide, nearly 4 wide down the front straightaway in Micromax. A big battle here back beyond the top 3 as they go through turns 2 and 3. Jeremy Fletcher's fallen down as he's been shuffled back. Miguel Costa making a big move in turn number 12, but he's got no drafting help at the moment to help him catch your top 3 as James Agozi, Alex Powell, and Emo Fittipaldi have checked out on the rest of the Micromax field. Costa runs in the 4th spot aboard the Burrell Art Machine. 5th, Nikita Johnson. 6th, Jeremy Fletcher. 7th, Anderson Leonard. 8th on the racetrack, Enzo Swan. 9th, Marcelo Paniccia. 10th, Miles Hewitt. As down the backstretch, Powell still leads, this time by 3 kart lengths back over Emo Fittipaldi, 3 karts back from James Agozi. So Agozi your leader, Powell in 2nd, and then Fittipaldi in 3rd in the 3-kart breakaway. In 4th, Miguel Costa shows the way over Nikita Johnson. 4th and 5th, and with that pack behind him, he's pulled away from it, which means Johnson now is going to have to deal with all the pressure from behind as Jeremy Fletcher is going to be looking to dig his way out of the hole and back towards the front of the field. It was not the ideal start for the Ocala Grand Prix Tony car driver as he runs right behind Johnson now heading into turn number 7. Into turn number 9, Nikita Johnson, Jeremy Fletcher, Anderson Leonard, that pack of 3 as they head over to turn number 11 and down the backstretch. Up front, it is Emo Fittipaldi still pushing Alex Powell around. Miguel Costa running behind them in 4th all alone. I don't know if he's made any ground up. In fact, last time by he did. 53-146, nearly half a second quicker than James Agozi out in front. Miguel Costa's getting no drafting help whatsoever right now as Emo Fittipaldi goes through to 2nd. He'll make a great move there in turn number 4 on Alex Powell, and Powell drops down to the 3rd spot. Miguel Costa still starting to close the gap up to your leader. He was 2.5 seconds back last time by. Kuna USA's James Agozi here in his sophomore season in the Micromax class as a front runner after representing Team USA in 2016 leads. Emo Fittipaldi, his 2nd year in the micro categories as well. A great run running in 2nd. Alex Powell making the switch from the Burrell Art chassis with Anderson Racing has gone over to the Speed Concepts Racing team. The Tony car driver running 3rd. Miguel Costa again going purple, 53.054. 2.5 quick than your race leader James Agozi. He's cut the gap to now 2.2 seconds, and it is closing as Emo Fittipaldi simultaneously is closing up to your race leader James Agozi. Emo Fittipaldi aboard the Formula K, trying to reel in the number 48 Bennick entry as they go through turn number 9. Agozi and Fittipaldi pulling away a little bit from Alex Powell in 3rd. Powell's been solid inside the top 5 nearly every session this weekend and the previous one in the Micro Rock class, but he right now still does not have that extra 1/10 to 2/10 of a second to battle for the lead. Emo Fittipaldi does, though. He's gonna go right to the bumper here of James Agozi to turn number 1. He'll go purple last time by. Battle. Now Arsenault moves down to block. He'll go side by side through the final turn. There goes Elio Giovanni down to the inside. Barrichello going to go to the inside on Giovanni in turn 1. 2 by 2 is Arsenault. Agozi for the win. This is the closest challenge James Agozi has really seen here this weekend, and it could get even bigger if Miguel Costa can get a good start in the main event as he's up into the 4th spot, climbing forward after having to start a little bit deeper in the field for the pre-final. Jeremy Fletcher's been able to work his way past Nikita Johnson to crack back into the top 5, but that's about as high as the Ocala Grand Prix number 22 is going to go. Johnson still runs 6th, Anderson Leonard 7th, as cross flags are given here to your race leader Agozi. Fittipaldi tucked right behind, and they've now pulled away from Alex Powell's Tony card. Miguel Costa looking to reel in Powell. He gained him about a 1/10 of a second last time. but the fastest
We've
lap
also got our eyes here on this
our
continuing
fastest
battle
lap of the
for
race
fifth.
last time
Justin
by went
Arsenault,
to James
back
Zagozi
by
in a
Elio Giovanni, who was holding back Fernando
52.982 lap
Barrichello.
time.
A four-car all-out battle. Now Arsenault moves down to block.
And
He'll go side by side to the final turn.
by.
There goes Elio Giovanni down to the inside. Barrichello going to go to the inside on Giovanni in turn 1. 2 by 2 is Arsenault.
Mo Fittipaldi, James Zagozi still glued together here out in front. The battles farther back are somewhat non-existent. There's one train looking to be led by Miles Hewitt, followed by Danny Dzelski, and one more driver in a three-card battle just outside the top 10. But besides that, everyone else is really spaced out beyond the top 2. It is just Zagozi and Fittipaldi nose to tail. Alex Powell, Miguel Costa spaced out in no man's land for each driver his own, 3rd and 4th. Jeremy Fletcher runs behind Costa right now, and he's also pulled away from Nikita Johnson by about a second. Johnson runs right in front of Anderson Leonard. Then it's Marcelo Panicci on the Burrell Art, followed by Enzo Swan in the Tony Kart and Eduardo Gerarda in the OTK number 27.
Mo Fittipaldi's gone through to the lead here on James Zagozi. Mo Fittipaldi, your race leader. Zagozi going to challenge right back to turn number 1. James Zagozi back to the lead as Mo Fittipaldi falls down to 2nd. Mo Fittipaldi here making it a bit earlier on than some Micromax drivers might have, but both want to lead, and now Zagozi has Fittipaldi knowing that he will challenge. He's going to defend a little bit into turn number 5 before moving back out to the racing line. This has allowed Alex Powell to close the gap back to the top 2, but it's Zagozi back in front after losing it for just maybe 3 or 4 total corners over Mo Fittipaldi. We'll see if Fittipaldi makes his answer back to Zagozi as instantaneous as it was for Zagozi to do it to Fittipaldi. Down the backstretch, a half cart length separates them, and now Fittipaldi pulls up to the bumper through turn number 12 here with 3 laps to go, this time by Mo Fittipaldi. Going to look to the inside, and he'll go back to the lead in turn number 1. James Zagozi back down to 2nd. Alex Powell 3rd. Miguel Costa 4th. Jeremy Fletcher 5th. Anderson Leonard 6th. Nikita Johnson has been passed by Leonard down to 7th. Marcelo Panicci, Enzo Swan, Edgardo Gerarda run out the top 10 as Fittipaldi still yet to see that answer back now from Zagozi. No challenge in turn 4 or turn number 5, and they both must know that Alex Powell is just waiting for 1 or 2 more passes to get back into the draft of the top 2. Down the backstretch, James Zagozi all over the rear bumper of Mo Fittipaldi. He'll close the gap into turn number 12, and as they come down the front stretch, 2 laps to go here in the Duke Spawn Micromax class. Zagozi going to work with Fittipaldi to make sure Powell does not get involved. To give him a solid bump draft to keep the number 80 Tony Kart at bay, and it has done so as they head for turn number 4. James Zagozi, though, a very smart Micromax driver. He's not going to just sit in 2nd for the entirety of this one. He's just going to wait a little bit longer before he makes that pass for the lead, knowing that Alex Powell could close if he does it a little bit too early. The same for Miguel Costa if there's enough battling going on, as Mo Fittipaldi shows the way over to turn number 10. Mo Fittipaldi, son of Formula driver Emerson Fittipaldi, and here showing that he is out in front and having the talent passed right on down. Fittipaldi leads Zagozi to the inside as the white flag flies here in Homestead. 1 lap to go. Zagozi to the lead in turn number 1. Out battle now takes over the top spot, moves down and will have to defend in turn 4 and 5 to the final turn. There goes Fittipaldi, a half car length back. Barrichello going to go to the inside on Giovanni in turn 1. 2 by 2 is Arsenault into turn number 5. Zagozi still on the inside. Fittipaldi tries to cross him over. They go side by side to turn number 6. Fittipaldi almost there as Alex Powell now pulls up to the bumper of the Formula K. That may have just cost Emo Fittipaldi the time he needed. He'll need to close it back in the draft. He does, though, in turn 11 now. It's just a bumper. James Zagozi all the way down to the inside. Emo Fittipaldi to the outside. Alex Powell going to go through to second as James Zagozi wins the pre-final. Alex Powell with a very smart move at the end goes through to second. Emo Fittipaldi to third, trying to go to the outside for one last crossover attempt on Agozi. He finishes there and will start third for the main event. Miguel Costa finishes fourth, Anderson Leonard fifth, Jeremy Fletcher sixth, Keita Johnson seventh, Marcelo Panicia eighth, Enzo Swan finishes ninth, Edgardo Jareta rounds out the top 10, and that completes the Duke Spine Micromax class. PSL karting, DD2, and DD2 Masters is set to follow as we let the rest of your field continue to cross the line to wrap up the Micromax division pre-final. Two more pre-mains remain before we go to the finals here at round number 1 of the Rotax edition in the Florida Winter Tour. So again, we'll take one quick commercial break here at the Florida Winter Tour Max Speed Entertainment official live broadcast. And when we come back, PSL Karting DD2 and DD2 Masters is up next.
Morning about 4 to 5 a.m. On a good week, I did some prep early, and on a bad week, I'm doing it when I get to the track. Sleep is not an option. I unload, reg, driver's meeting, nap, qualify, race. It's not every weekend, but it's as many races as I can make. I used to race when I was younger, before New York and before getting married. I've always worn Bell. From bicycles to race cars, it's given me the best in safety when I've needed it the most.
The Mazda Road to Indy has been training and promoting the best, most ambitious open-wheel drivers and teams in North America. Now, Max Speed Group and Anderson Promotions brings to the Rotax karting world a unique opportunity to experience the next level in racing.
A lot of these karters have a dream of becoming an IndyCar racer, and that transition going from Rotax to the Mazda Road to Indy is finally there for them to be able to get a feel of that car.
The Mazda Road to Indy, where drivers and teams from around the world come to succeed. This is where it all starts. This is where you want to be.
Giovanni down to the inside
at the Florida Winter
Barrichello
Tour.
going to go to the inside on
outlap
Giovanni
has been
in turn
completed
1
for the
2
DD2
by 2
and
is our
DD2
Masters pre-final. Jeff Kingsley will start on the front row alongside what appears to be Michael McCarthy's. Yes, Michael McCarthy in the Anderson Racing Team Barellard chassis has been the most consistent driver besides Kingsley right now, consistently at the top 5 and hovering to the inside of it every now and then. He starts on the outside of row number 1. As many drivers who took even heat race victories had at least one bad heat that will put them a little deeper in the starting order. Gary Carlton, for example, rolls off in 5th after winning a heat race yesterday, the final one, due to his DNF due to a mechanical problem in the first heat. Now into the tram lanes. Kingsley, McCarthy looking for the green. A very even start here in PSL Karting DD2. We're underway to turn number 1. Kingsley with a good jump. Michael McCarthy trying to slot in line. A madhouse right now, back outside the top 5, who is holding Kingsley back Fernando Barrichello. McCarthy trying to hold that battle. Now Arsenault front runners down to Lucas Hour. He'll go side by side to the looking for a way by. There goes Elio Giovanni down to the inside. Turn number 5. Barrichello going to go to the inside on Giovanni. It looks to be Hour just ahead of Barrichello. Behind Barrichello finds Juan Manuel Correa. Then it's Zachary Clayman DeMello and Gary Carlton, as Jeff Kingsley starts to pull out a little bit of a gap over the rest of your field. One driver, a couple actually, going wide out of turn number 9, getting shoved that way, as it looks like the battle might just be for third at the moment. Michael McCarthy with a good gap as well. Both in front and behind, battle for fourth here. Here comes Juan Manuel Correa. He'll go to the inside of Rubens Barrichello in turn number 1. Move Correa going to go to the inside on Giovanni in turn 1. Down 2 by 2. They're still battling now for the third spot. There goes Correa. He'll go by Lucas Hour. Hour trying to tuck in line. Barrichello shoved on the outside lane. He'll look for a way by. He's still side by side with Hour. Side by side through turn number 6. Gary Carlton around the outside. Zach Clayman DeMello makes contact. Robert Wickens in the thick of things as well. A great battle outside the top 2 as Correa starts to get away. Gary Carlton through to the inside of Rubens Barrichello in turn number 12. He'll go to position number 4. Barrichello at a P5. An all-out battle here. A couple drivers getting bogged down. 3 wide back for the 6th spot. Lucas Hour, Robert Wickens, Zach Clayman DeMello, Ethan Simeone, Davide Greco, all battling here as they exit turn number 4. Zach Clayman DeMello, your winner in heat number 1, was taken out after making coming together with Robert Wickens in heat 3, and it sent him to the back of the field. He had to move his way back forward here in the pre-final, and unfortunately getting caught up in some of this mess has impeded that progress. Jeff Kingsley, on the other hand, it's smooth sailing out in front after a 6th, the first, and a second in the heat races. He started on the hole. He's now a 2.5 up on Michael McCarthy. Juan Manuel Correa, the closest driver right now. He gained about a 10.5 on McCarthy last time by. Gary Carlton, a 0.5 quicker than Correa. Rubens Barrichello, a little bit off of all drivers as he's still having to fend off a few charges from behind, including the likes of Robert Wickens, who's now gotten away from Ethan Simeone and Zachary Clayman DeMello. DeMello also pulling away from the Ben Cooper Racing entry of Cedric Lupien, who has gone past Davide Greco. Out of the final turn on the racetrack, 4 laps complete, 11 to go for Jeff Kingsley, one of Canada's finest DD2 pilots here, setting the pace. Although last time by, Gary Carlton nearly 3/10 quicker than your race leader, Jeff Kingsley. He's 3 seconds back, and only at that rate would need 10 more laps to catch him. He's got 11. But that is a tall order to continuously be 3/10 quicker than one of the best drivers, not only in Canada, but in North America, and arguably one of the better DD2 drivers in the world. Here, Jeff Kingsley starting off the pole and doing a great job fending off a very stacked field of DD2 pilots, as Michael McCarthy is now looking to come under pressure here for the 2nd spot, with Juan Manuel Correa closing the gap here in the Kuna USA Tony Kart entry. Michael McCarthy, in his 2nd season in the DD2 class under the Anderson Racing Team banner, now has Correa all over his bumper. Watch for the potential pass here to turn number 4. Correa 1 kart length back. He'll go to the inside in turn number 4. Juan Manuel Correa up to P2. McCarthy P3, and he's got Gary Carlton up to his bumper now. Carlton, the Formula K factory driver, in P4. Moving right up to the Floridian of Michael McCarthy, and behind him, Rubens Barrichello still sits in the spot. Jeff Kingsley by nearly 2.5 seconds back to Juan Manuel Correa in 2nd, as Gary Carlton closing the gap to just a 1/2 kart length back from Michael McCarthy now, heading through turns 1 and 2. Carlton going to look to put the same move on McCarthy that Correa didn't want to go, and there he goes. Gary Carlton to position number 3. He'll make the move stick on Michael McCarthy. McCarthy down to 4th. He'll go back down the inside. Contact in turn 5, and McCarthy goes around, getting up over top of the rear tire of Gary Carlton. Michael McCarthy with a spin. He'll try and merge back in behind Juan Diego Velasquez, the Ecuadorian, running outside the top 10. And Michael McCarthy, just like that, sees a great weekend here start to slip away as the cross flags is given to Jeff Kingsley. We'll look at the instant replay here. Michael McCarthy on the inside, contact in turn 5, and McCarthy, a rub coming out of the corner, and it sent McCarthy around. So now your adjusted top 5, Kingsley, Correa, Barrichello, Wickens, and then Carlton down to 5th, as Robert Wickens has kept his nose clean here in the pre-final. Although Carlton still looking to be a little bit quicker than the Canadian DTM driver, and he only trails by 2 kart lengths right now from the Prime Motorsport Barrel. Gary Carlton still having what looks to be a clean go-kart. I don't know if he was damaged at all by the contact with Michael McCarthy. Let's see if he can make a move to charge back up to at least 3rd here in the DD2 pre-final. 7 to go for Jeff King, who is holding back Fernando Barrichello right now. No pressure whatsoever. As moves down Correa last still goes side by side to the final turn. But there goes Elio Giovanni down to challenge as Barry Carlton goes to the inside of Robert Wickens. He'll take the 4th spot away. Is Arsenault. Wickens going to follow in line right behind him. Zachary Claman DeMello has gone past Ethan Simeone. He's also got what looks to be another one of the Anderson Racing Team. Oh, no, sorry. That was Lucas Auer there in that pack. Michael McCarthy a little farther behind here as he still trails Juan Diego Velasquez outside the top 10. That back led by Claman DeMello has the Ben Cooper Racing entry of Cedric Lupien, currently running in the 8th spot with Davide Greco and Ethan Simeone in tow. There goes Elio Giovanni down to the inside. Barrichello going to go to the inside on Giovanni in turn 1. 2.5 seconds. 2 by 2 is Arsenault. Back to Juan Manuel Correa. He pulled out a 1/10 of a second last time by alone. Gary Carlton right now on the charge. He might have an outside shot at catching Rubens Barrichello before the end of this one, but Barrichello has been clicking off some consistent laps recently here, just within a 1/10 of a second to 2/10 of his best. He is not one driver you'd expect to see a big mistake or bobble out of as he tucks his head down the back straightaway. You can see the gap visibly gaining distance between Carlton and Wickens for 4th, as Correa last time by goes purple 46.806, 3.5 tenths quicker than Jeff Kingsley. Matias Rodriguez, the Argentinian Barrel R driver in the 593, has now cracked the top 10. He's behind Lucas Auer, about a 1.5 back from the DTM driver. Ethan Simeone, Davide Greco still sit 8th and 7th behind Zachary Claman DeMello in 6th, who is now starting to try and pull a little gap away from those two. In fact, we might see a little battle here for the 7th spot between Greco and Simeone, as Greco's already gone by, but Simeone is still right there down the backstretch. 4 laps to go for Canada's Jeff Kingsley as he looks to start on the pole for the main event. He loses another 10th last time to Juan Manuel Correa, but it will not matter at this rate. Correa might be able to close it down to about a second, but that's all he'll be able to get. It won't matter because they'll still have a brand new set of tires to level the playing field for the final. But at the moment, it looks like Correa still pushing everything he has here. Again, like I said, it will not matter the last session on these Max 1 by Vega tires before they get a brand new set of shoes for the main event. 22 laps in the PSO karting DD2 class. Three laps to go for Jeff Kingsley, and Correa again goes purple as Ethan Simeone now under fire here from what looks to be Lucas Auer, the Australian, closing the gap to battle for 8th as Simeone pulls back away from Davide Greco. into turn number 4. Auer is going to stay right behind. No aggression yet from the BN Racing or Salon Racing entry in the Burrell Art chassis. Matias Rodriguez still sits in 10th, and he's aboard the AM Burrell Art chassis number 593 from Argentina. It's Canada versus United States here out in front with Kingsley versus Correa. Then it's Barrichello and Carlton, Wickens and Clayman DeMello. That's your top 6, as nothing has changed inside those 6 positions outside of lap times for the past few laps. Last time by, though, Correa another half-second advantage over Jeff Kingsley. Kingsley really just backing things down with a lap and a half to go. It still won't make a difference here as he makes his way out of turn number 5 with absolutely no pressure from Juan Manuel Correa behind him. Rubens Barrichello is being reeled in by Gary Carlton, but again, the change should not make a difference here. This time by, the white flag going to fly from your main flagger, Cam Egger. Kingsley takes a look back. Now he'll tuck his head down the straightaway and try and bang out one more clean lap to take the victory here in the DD2 class presented by PSL Karting. This pack of 4 led by Dominic Greco has Ethan Simeone, Auer, and Matias Rodriguez still together, but no battle yet as Kingsley goes purple on his penultimate lap around 46.67 for Jeff Kingsley over Juan Manuel Correa, of 1.5 second advantage for the Canadian, and now he's got 3 corners down 2. Separating him from rounding the final turn to win the pre-final. Jeff Kingsley, dominant here in PSL Karting DD2, not without some action behind him though. He takes the pre-final and will start the pole for the main event. Behind him, Juan Manuel Correa, another great run here for the Florida native as he makes his way with a near 3-second gap back to Rubens Barrichello. Gary Carlton finishes 4th, Robert Wickens 5th, Zachary Mello 6th, the 3-wide battle for 7th and 8th from Dominic Greco, Ethan Simeone, Lucas Sauer, and Matias Rodriguez rounding out the top 10. One more class remains. It's the Anderson Racing Team Junior Max Division. 37 drivers set to do battle. We've got some really high winds here at Homestead, knocking over some of the flags. They are only going to get worse. We've got a pretty nasty storm set to come in this evening. We want to give a warning to all teams to make sure that you get those big tents down before the winds really pick up. As soon as you finish your final, get that all packed up and ready to go, because it is going to get pretty nasty here at Homestead this evening. So we're going to take one quick break here off the stream. We'll come back live. Back live here on MaxSpeedEntertainment.com and through Race Monitor with official in-app video and audio of the live stream here of the Florida Winter Tour, the VCI powered by AM Racing Engines event presented by Fancy Wheels, here with the Anderson Racing Team Junior Max class set to go green. 37 drivers. On the racetrack as they have all made their warm-up lap complete here coming by the line. It's Tyler Gonzalez and Eduardo Barrichello making up row number 1. Arias Duke-Medjin alongside Jeremy Fairbairn for row number 2. Row 3 sees Aiden Keel from the Anderson Racing Team alongside Mateus Morgado, who put on a dominating show in the final heat race of the weekend yesterday afternoon. Row number 4 sees Guillermo Peixoto and Jeremias Olmedo, a couple of South Americans, and then it's Henry Kubitas and Hannah Greenemeyer rounding out the top 10. Dylan Gennaro and Zachary Hollingshead making an Ocala Grand Prix, row number 6. Row 7 sees Yuvan Sundaramurthy and Tyler Maxson in 14th. Row number 8 sees Frederick Jerich alongside Ryan McDermott. The PSL karting driver has had a very rough start to his Florida Winter Tour campaign in both Rock and Rotax Max Challenge competition. He will be looking to make up quite a few spots here in the pre-final as he starts in the 16th spot. But Tyler Gonzalez and Eduardo Barrichello make up the front row. Arias Duke-Medjin, Jeremy Fairbairn, row number 2. The entire Anderson Racing Team Junior Max field on the racetrack for an official competition for the first time here this weekend as they round the final turn. Gonzalez and Barrichello, put your field in the tram lanes. We look for the green. Still a very spaced out start. A lot of bumping all throughout. No green to turn number 1. Going back by Elio Giovanni, who is holding back Fernando Barrichello. A 4-cart all-out battle. Now Arsenault moves down to block. He'll go side by side to the final turn. Gonzalez. There goes Elio Giovanni down to the inside. And Barrichello going to go to the inside on Giovanni in turn 1. This time. 2 by 2 is Arsenault. Any bit earlier. Everyone trying to get single file here for the start to make sure they get no marbles on the tires, as we have a ton of Max 1 by Vega rubber laid down here this weekend, along with the Mojo rubber in the Mini Max and Micro Max classes, and then the Bridgestone rubber that was left over from the Rock weekend. The final pre-final of round number 1 in the 2017 VCI powered by Florida Winter Tour presented by Fixie Wheels. Rotax Junior presented by Anderson Racing Team. Junior Max now doubled up down the backstretch as we tried to get him into those lanes a little bit earlier. It is Gonzalez and Barrichello side by side, nice and slow, a picture perfect 37 driver grid. Gonna round the final turn. We look to go racing. Gonzalez, Barrichello into the lanes, and here in Junior Max, the second attempt in automatic green are underway to turn number 1. Everyone going to fan out 3 and 4 wide farther back. Quite a few drivers. Dylan Gennaro gets turned sideways in turn number 1. A few more trying to make it through clean. It looks like we've got most of our field still going. One driver turned around farther back, but it's Gonzalez out to the lead. Arias Duke-Medjin gone through to second. Eduardo Barrichello under fire for third from Aiden Keel with a good run. Guillermo Peixoto runs in the 5th spot. Mateus Morgado 6th. Jeremy Fairbairn's fallen down to 7th. Henry Kubitas in 8th. And then behind him, it looks to be possibly another Tony Kart entry here. Maybe Jeremias Olmedo. Down the backstretch, Arias Duke-Medjin, a big run to Tyler Gonzalez's bumper. He'll stay right to it through turn number 12. Gonzalez, your leader, but Duke-Medjin right there, and he'll stay behind him to turn 1. Mateus Morgado under fire from Jeremy Fairbairn. Fairbairn unable to make it stick as he goes through turns 2 and 3 and heads for 4. He'll now with a dive to defend into the hairpin, and Fairbairn has challenges from behind now as Morgado gets a gap away from the Kuna USA driver. Meanwhile, Henry Kubitis going toe-to-toe with Jeremiah Solmedo farther back as Arias Duke Medjin has gone through to the lead. A great move here in the mid-sector. And Duke Medjin going by Tyler Gonzalez. Gonzalez down to second. Third, Aiden Keel as he's worked by Eduardo Barrichello. Barrichello down outside of the top 4 as Guillermo Pexoto went through as well. Gonzalez now going to try and work with Arias Duke Medjin as Duke Medjin leads his first laps here in the Florida Winter Tour Junior Max pre-final. 2 laps complete in the session out of 15, and we've got a big battle here in Junior Max. Duke Medjin, Gonzalez, Keel, Aiden Keel nearly making a move to the inside of Gonzalez. Gonzalez going to hold him back for the moment as Guillermo Pexoto, Eduardo Barrichello now have Mateus Morgado trailing on to the back half of them. Jeremy Fairbairn has had a lot of speed, but just getting a little bit outraced and muscled off the starts. He's down in the 7th spot, but could also catch the top 6. Down the backstretch once again, Gonzalez, a half cart back from Duke Medjin as they exit turn number 12. Here comes Tyler to the bumper of Arias Duke Medjin in 1, but he'll still stay right behind. So it's the Duke Spy number 299 Cosmic, tuned by Alex Speed, and then Mike Speed, his father, tuning and running the race team. Oh, big contact in turn 4. Gonzalez along with Aiden Keel. Arias Duke Medjin goes around, and it looks like your new leaders, Guillermo Pexoto. Mateus Morgado falls into the 3rd position just out of Gonzalez. Jeremy Fairbairn moves into the 5th spot. Zachary Hollingshead off the racetrack in turn number 6, and a problem for the Ocala Grand Prix driver. Arias Duke Medjin was in the thick of things there in turn number 4. I don't know exactly where he's ended up right now. We'll see where he falls. He looks to be just ahead of one of the VCI entries exiting turn 12. Big contact battling for the lead between Gonzalez, Aiden Keel, and Arias Duke Medjin all as battle back out front. It's Pexoto, followed by Eduardo Barrichello. Tyler Gonzalez has now gone by Mateus Morgado. He's brought Jeremy Fairbairn and Henry Kubitis with him. Morgado trails the group as battling back behind him. It's Jeremiah Solmedo and Thomas Nepvu, the Minimax graduate here, having a solid run here in the pre-final. He'll look to the inside of Olmedo, not able to make it stick in turn number 9. Aiden Keel runs down in the 9th spot. Hannah Greenemeyer runs in 10th. The contact for the lead, that was a big crash in turn number 4. And now Tyler Gonzalez trying to work his way back up to Guillermo Pexoto, who is 0.2 a lap slower right now than the Tony Kart driver. The same for Jeremy Fairbairn. He actually went purple last time by. So Fairbairn and Gonzalez trying to move back up to the lead as Guillermo Pexoto and Eduardo Barrichello have a big gap for them to chip into. Guillermo Pexoto goes purple last time by, but Tyler Gonzalez and Jeremy Fairbairn will beat it 0.2 quicker for the Tony Kart pilots. They're closing the gap to Eduardo Barrichello. We're still not at the halfway point, which should give enough potential for them to catch as Barrichello slows. Eduardo Barrichello with a problem in turn number 4. He'll slow down as we've got another incident over in turn number 1. A chaotic pre-final here in the first half, and now that's one more spot that Tyler Gonzalez and Jeremy Fairbairn no longer have to deal with. They just have Guillermo Pexoto as a breaking end of the pre-final comes here for Eduardo Barrichello. Arias Duke Medjin trying to work his way forward as we have another few drivers going off in turn number 1. A lot of crashes here in the pre-final as this is the first time all weekend we've had a race session that all 37 drivers have been on the racetrack. Actually, I believe the first time in any session we've had all 37 on the racetrack with the exception of warm-up this morning. So Pexoto, Gonzalez, Fairbairn, the top three, they are gaining on the Tony Kart driver. The number 238 of Guillermo Pexoto is being hunted down by Tyler Gonzalez. Jeremy Fairbairn again coming along for the ride, right behind, just a half tenth off of Gonzalez every single lap. Henry Kubitis has gone into the fourth spot, just ahead of Mateus Morgado. Jeremiah Zolmano runs 6th, Thomas Nepvue 7th, Aiden Keel, Ryan McDermott put 2 more Barellards inside the top 10 as McDermott was in quite a bit of a mid-pack hornet's nest earlier on, along with Thomas Nepvue. Henry Pozo Jr. runs 10th, Arias Duke Medjin rebounding to 11th right now and still looking for more, a second back for the next position on the racetrack. Kai Palomino runs in 12th. Hannah Greenemeyer 13th. Yuvan Sundaramurthy 14th. Frederick Jerich 15th. Tyler Maxson 16th. Senna Somerville 17th. Venetius Goan Diaz 18th. David Morales runs in 20th, right behind Felipe Sebastian in 19th. Mateus Morgado going purple. Now Ryan McDermott sets the fastest lap of the race. 48.098, just 4/10 back from Aiden Keel, as they both try to reel in Thomas Nepvue. Aiden Keel again was the other driver involved with the incident, including Gonzalez and Duke Medjin in turn number 4. That shuffled him back, having to go way wide in the Anderson Racing Team Barellard chassis as he fights back in the 9th spot, still with a lot of speed, and surprisingly it appears no damage for either Gonzalez or Keel. The gap visibly shrinking by a good bit here from first to second. Guillermo Pexoto trying to hold on. He's got 5 more laps to hold back Florida's Tyler Gonzalez. Gonzalez in his first full year in the Junior Max class is just 6/10 back. Last time by, he was 3.5 quicker than Pexoto. Fairbairn, another 3/10 as well on Pexoto. Henry Kubitis also quicker, as Thomas Nepvue went purple last time by, running a lap time identical to Aiden Keel and Ryan McDermott. Nepvue's now gone by. Mateus Morgado taking over what looks to be the 6th position. Down the backstretch, Tyler Gonzalez trying to find a little more power to get closer to Guillermo Pexoto. As we exit the final turn on the racetrack, Pexoto sits in the fastest lap of the race as he goes 1/10 slower than Gonzalez. Gonzalez would barely get there by the end of the final lap, so he will still need to dig a little bit harder. The Tony Kart driver climbing back forward. Jeremy Fairbairn is closing as well, but not nearly at the rate that Gonzalez is, as Pexoto still shows the way through turn 6. Guillermo Pexoto, the ultimate benefactor of the incident in turn number 4 early on, battling for the lead. Gonzalez second, Fairbairn in third, as the Brazilian number 238 driver down the backstretch has about 6 kart lengths still back to Gonzalez. For Guillermo Pexoto, that time by a 0.5 quicker than Tyler Gonzalez. He pulled away even a little bit, as we've got quite a few battles still going on throughout the racetrack, especially as you go outside the top 10. Arias Duke Medjin, on the other hand, he's climbed into the 10th spot. That should be about as high as he can reach. He's 3 seconds back from Ryan McDermott. Guillermo Pexoto comes out of the final turn to see 2 laps to go. Tyler Gonzalez as well, still 6/10 back. A 0.5 advantage left for Pexoto. Thomas Nepvue goes purple. The quickest driver on the racetrack, the Canadian junior rookie, the number 224 PSL karting entry, closing the gap to Jeremiah Solmedo as we focus on this pack right now, led by Henry Kubitis. Kubitis in 4th, Olmedo 5th. Nepvue 6th, Morgado 7th, Keel in 8th, and Ryan McDermott runs in 9th. out of the final turn. White flag in the air for Guillermo Peixoto. Tyler Gonzalez still running behind. He was a tenth quicker last time by, still half a second back. He's going to need a bobble out of the Brazilian to challenge for the win here in the pre-final. Otherwise, he'll be stuck with a second-place starting spot for the main event. That is not where Gonzalez would like to be because, as we saw here this time, the outside row got really shafted off the tramlines, and it's happened multiple times here on the starts at the Florida Winter Tour. Gonzalez and Fairbairn together as farther back. McDermott and Keel go by. Mateus Morgado. Thomas Nepvu with contact from Morgado in turn number 5, got turned around, but your race win will go to Brazil's Guilherme Peixoto. He takes the pre-final. Tyler Gonzalez, a hard charge at the end, finishes second. Jeremy Fairbairn third. Henry Cubitas fourth. Jeremiah Solmedo in 5th. McDermott 6th. Keel in 7th. Morgado unofficially 8th after the contact with Thomas Nepvu. A heartbreaking end of the pre-final for Nepvu that will put him way down the order. He really cracked the top 5 in his first Junior Max event and is going to be fighting for more even hungrier as he will start all the way down in 15th for the main event unofficially, but I'm sure we'll have quite a few steward's office visits here from many tuners after that one. That was a chaotic pre-final here in Junior Max between Gonzalez, Keel, and Duke. Imagine coming together, multiple wrecks all throughout the racetrack in the 15-lap pre-final, and we've got 22 more laps of this one. They are our last class of the day. The Anderson Racing Team Junior Max field just setting the playing field for the final as 22 laps will decide it with Guilherme Peixoto and Tyler Gonzalez unofficially on the front row. We've got a short break here on our Max Speed Entertainment live broadcast before we'll be bringing you the rest of the action today. We'll be coming back at 12:30 p.m. just a little bit before the Masters Max class. But again, we come back 12:25 p.m. and then get set to go racing with 6 finals at the Florida Winter Tour presented by Fixie Wheels. The VCI powered by AM Racing Engines Max Speed Entertainment's 2007 season is fully underway. And again, for main events, Masters Max presented by the Max, won by Vega Tire, will kick us off. 12:25, we'll come back. For now, a 1-hour break here on MaxSpeedEntertainment.com. The stream will go down here, and then we'll bring the stream back. Again, the live stream on MaxSpeedEntertainment.com and on Race Monitor's official app. Again, we'll come back at 12:25 p.m. We'll take a short break, come off the air, make sure we've got everything set to bring you the best action, the live action here at Florida Winter Tour at Homestead Karting.